Hello and welcome to this vlog. Now, since I've had my stroke, I've been kind of homebound. And I've been watching a lot of TV. And I discovered the Catfish, the TV show. The Catfish. I discovered Catfish TV show. And it's kind of, I guess, a new thing. Because a lot of people are getting catfished, which is, fooling people online, making them think you're somebody else. Sometimes they do it to scam them. Sometimes they just do them because they're looking for somebody to get with. But catfish and getting catfished is not a new thing. I got catfished in the 80s. That's one friend, James. He got catfished quite a few times in the 80s. And it's not the same as it is now. I mean, now you have computers, have a way to talk to people without actually talking to them like I am, where you can hear their voice. You can do it through text, you can do it through Instagram, different apps, and you can talk to the person through text, and they never know who you are. They don't know your voice, they don't know if you're a male or a female. It's a lot easier to get catfished nowadays. Because back in the 80s, all we had was a phone, and a landline at that.
Hiya, pal! You've got a phone call!
Okay, so this is the story of how I got catfished. I was just sitting at home one night. It was late. I'd had my beer. I was watching some TV. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock. All of a sudden, the phone rang. So I answered the phone, and there was some girl, and she's like, "Hello, is John there?" And I'm like, "Nope, John doesn't live here. John doesn't live here." She's like, "Oh, okay." And I start to hang up, and I hear, "Who are you?" And I'm, "Huh? Oh, I told her I'm Scott." And she goes, "Oh, she was, I forget her name, but," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we started talking. I'm like, "Who's John?" She goes, "Oh, somebody just gave me his number. It says his name was John, so I was going to try and call him, but I'm talking to you and you seem cool." So I started talking to her. We talked for like 2 hours. We're getting along great. And I'm a man. I was a single man back then, mind you. And it ended in phone sex. She de-virginized me. So, ended phone sex, over, done. I said, "Okay, nice to talk to you, nice to meet you, bye." And she didn't call the next day or the next day. I think it was like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, all of a sudden I got this random phone call again late at night. It was her again. We ended up talking. We talked for, again, like a couple hours. It ended in phone sex again. Hey, I'm a guy, seems right, phone sex, hey, I'm cool with it. She was fun to talk to. This went on for like 6 months, maybe even a year. I don't remember. I think it was like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, maybe once a month. She just randomly called. Well, after I think it was like 6 months or a year or whatever. One time she called and I got on. I was talking to her and I'm like, "Hey, you know what? We should meet. I mean, we get along great. Let's meet." And she's like, "Oh, I don't know." I'm like, come on. I mean, we have such a fun time. Let's meet." And she told me she was tall, brunette, blue eyes, athletic body, really good shape. And that's totally, that's totally my kind of girl, The way she described it, gorgeous, fit body, everything.
Woo!
And, well, we've already had phone sex, so, there's kind of something there. So I give her to meet. She lives in Arroyo Grande. I live in Slow. It's like 20 minutes later. I say, "All right, 30 minutes. She gave me a park to meet her at. I mean, you're not going to meet me at their house. That's just kind of weird. So I drive. I get to this park. Get outside. There's a bunch of trees. I'm looking around. I don't see anybody. So I go out and I sit on the hood of my car. And all of a sudden I hear somebody and I start seeing somebody kind of like walking my way through the trees and that. I'm a little scared. So I'm like, okay, whatever's going to happen. All of a sudden I hear a girl go, "Scott?" And so I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Hey, it's so-and-so." I'm like, "Hey, I'm over here. So she starts walking up and I'm just kind of sitting there and I keep looking over. And all of a sudden I look over and she's not anywhere near what she described. She's like extremely overweight. Like one of those big girls with, broad shoulders, kind of like a square, no neck. And I like thin girls. All my girlfriends thin, very athletic, nice bodies.
Woo!
But I wasn't mean to her. I didn't like run and jump my car and like start the car and run off and or push her out of the way. I started talking to her. Said, "Hey, how you doing?" I got up, went around because we were gonna go to the beach. I asked her beforehand if she wanted to go to the beach. She said yeah. So I went around. I opened the door. She got in. I closed the door. I got in, drove. We had a blanket. We talked on the beach. Boom. We went home. I let her go. I let her go, yeah, like I captured her or something. But I went back. I opened the door for her. She got out. We talked. We hugged. She went away to her house. I went home. I never heard from her again. Not a word Nothing. She never called me after that. Nothing. I mean, obviously there was nothing there. I wasn't attracted to her, and so I kind of forgot about it. Well, I said my friend James has had this happen. I went home. I was at a party. James was there. I went, hey James, remember I told you about that girl that I was having phone sex with? That like random one. I'm like, I went to meet her. He goes, oh no, you never meet him, man. Never meet him, dude. They're always overweight and they're ugly, and you don't like them. Never do that. I'm like, well, I already did it. He goes, well, how was she? She was not excited. He goes, yeah, dude. I've met 3 of them. I'm all 3 of them. Dude, what the hell? He goes, yeah, I know. Anyway, yeah, they were all fat and ugly. I'm like, okay, well, it's over with now. It's been like a couple months. She hasn't called back. I think it's done with. I'm over it. But, you know, nice meeting you. So, yeah, that's my story, guys. See, catfishing is not something that's happening because of computers. It happened in the 80s. It was just phone calls. And, I don't know, for me, it was just a sexual thing. My friend James, it was just a sexual thing. But, I don't know. You still had mail now. Some of these people might have tried to scam you and say, hey, my mother's dead. I need some money. Could you mail it to me? It could have happened like it happens today in catfishing. But the one thing I have noticed on the catfish I've been watching, I'm not saying everybody, but most of them, the people that get catfish or the people that are doing the catfish, if it's a woman or sometimes even the guys, they're often extremely overweight. That's something we have to deal with overweight people, I think. And a lot of them have been abused too. Maybe that leads to this sort of thing, I don't know. But that was my catfish story, and this happened in the 80s, 30-something years ago. So, there you go. Alright. That's my story of being catfished. Not that exciting, but it happened. And it happened in the 80s. Alright guys, see you next time.
That was terrific!
Great, yeah!
Fresh baked
Fantastic! That's really great!
Really tisky, yeah.